How did Judas die? Matthew 27 says Judas died by hanging. However, in Acts, Luke records he fell headlong and burst asunder, causing his bowels to gush out. So how can this be addressed? Well, I think skeptics are jumping the gun on this one. This one can easily be addressed by noting that Matthew is telling us how Judas died, and Luke is telling us the effects of Judas's body after his death. Matthew tells us Judas went out and hanged himself. The Jews also had taboos about touching dead bodies, so it is likely no one would have wanted to go near a hanging body, especially the body of a traitor. When rotting bodies are left alone, the internal bacteria begins to break down tissues, which in turn causes gases to swell up in the body. Pressure builds up and can cause the body to burst open, which is likely what happened to Judas's body. If his body was left alone for days to decompose, when someone finally cut the rope or the branch snapped, the force of hitting the ground could have caused the body to burst open. The next issue is Matthew says the priest purchased the field, but Luke says Judas acquired it. So some skeptics suggest there is a contradiction in who purchased the field, but this isn't actually true. Matthew and Luke use two different Greek words here. Matthew uses a word that refers to making a business transaction, whereas Luke uses a word to refer to acquiring something, which can refer to purchasing but doesn't have to. So in other words, Matthew notes the priest bought the field, but Luke tells us that it belonged to Judas. So the priest would have bought it in Judas's name. This can be seen in Matthew, where the priest refused to put the money back into the treasury because it came from betraying innocent blood. Ancient societies, especially Jewish societies, had ritual purity laws against accepting money that was used for immoral purposes. So it makes sense that when the priest purchased the field, they would do it in Judas's name. Hence Judas acquired the field of blood. This avoids a paper transaction, showing the priest bought something with blood money, avoiding a ritual purity issue for the public to see. Luke, of course, would report what a later writer would have seen from the records, whereas Matthew writes as one who was an eyewitness, having first-hand knowledge of how the purchasing of the field went down. So in reality, the accounts cohere nicely. Thus this supposed contradiction can be resolved.